Hi Year 11s, in this video I'm going to talk you through how to write your action plan for the first assignment, which is about bringing books to life. Now if you haven't written an action plan before, my best tip is to follow the set criteria and the suggested headings. It is quite different to an essay or writing you would use in any other subject, so just take the hints and keep it short and concise because you have a 400-word maximum. Now the first thing that needs to be put in here, and it's been inserted here for you because you all have the same task, is we always include what the task was for this, excuse me, for the assignment. The second section we always have is issues and strategies. Now PS1 means that it is going to be assessed by problem solving criteria number 1. So all of this fits under the one criteria that will be highlighted. Basically, it means the criteria and considerations for the assignment. So the criteria that the assignment gives you and the considerations are what you're going to consider or think about in order to meet it when you make your choice. So basically, this is a way of documenting all the thinking that goes into deciding on what you're actually going to make. Because as you're looking through ideas and activities and things, you would be eliminating things based on the fact that it doesn't suit the assignment. So this is how you actually document the thinking that went on beforehand. So first of all, the way you write it is in 2 specific sentences for each dot point. Sentence 1, you state the issue, which is state one of the criteria, and the second sentence, what you're going to consider in order to meet that. Okay, a new line for each dot point, and there's usually 3 or 4 issues and strategies, so 3 or 4 dot points for an action plan. So just an example, this obviously doesn't relate to our task, but it's just an example of how to word your issues and strategies. The criteria for this pretend assignment is the puzzle must be suitable for a 5-year-old. Okay, so that is stating what the criteria is. You've plucked that out from the task, very specifically stated what it is. Then what is going to be considered comes in the next sentence. So considering the number of puzzle pieces, their size, and an image that will engage a 5-year-old will be important. Okay, so when this person was choosing their puzzle, right, they're thinking about how many pieces to put in it, the size, what image is going to go on it to make it suitable for a 5-year-old. All right, so for us, I've given you some hints. Because we all have the same task, everyone has the same issues and strategies as such, but you just word them in your own words, and you need to put what I've got here into sentences. And this is just a starting point, so you definitely might want to add. So the first criteria is the fact that you have to make 2 items in 2 weeks. All right, and that's going to definitely have an impact on what you choose to make. You're not going to choose something that needs an extravagant amount of work and decoration and multiple components. All right, so 2 items in 2 weeks. All right, you need to put that into a full sentence. Second sentence will be something like consider this, 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 and this. All right, I've got some clues here, perhaps dividing your time into 1 item per week, the skills and resources that are required, and the simplicity of the designs will be important to consider. Then we move on to a separate dot point, so now a different criteria. The second thing you need to do for this task is make sure that whatever you make engages a 2 to 4-year-old with the book. So considering the book theme, the characters, items, all right, as well as the development of the age group, if you perhaps choose specifically a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old, or you can do all of them, that's okay. But those are the sorts of things you're going to need to consider when choosing an item. Right? If your book is about a teddy bear with a red balloon, you're not just going to randomly make an elephant to go with it. So that's why it's saying considering the theme, the characters, the items, etc. So again, putting those 2 things into your own sentences and adding what you feel is appropriate. Number 3, you have been told it needs to be at least 50% recycled materials. Okay, so again, putting that into a sentence. Consider, all right, it would be good to list some different options that you have that we've talked about in class, things that can be used that would be counted as recycled materials here. And perhaps where you might source them from could be listed there as well. All right, number 4, you need to make items that are safe and durable so that they're not just used once and then thrown out because they're dangerous or they've fallen apart. So a sentence saying that your items must be safe and durable. Consider, all right, again, what strategies did we talk about in class, particularly on the PowerPoint, about how to make items more safe and more durable for multiple use. So listing some ideas there. All of this is very general, okay? Doesn't and it actually shouldn't relate just to the thing that you've chosen. This is about, in general, all the things that went through your mind, all the thinking before the decision. We now come down to here where you have made a decision. Right, now you write what book you chose out of the hat, item 1 and item 2 that you're going to be making very briefly. No explanation there, just simply writing whether it is a chicken puppet or a cape with a star, all right, very briefly writing what it is. Here is now where you go into detail about what you've chosen and why. So this is the justification. Now it's got PS3, so this is a different criteria here. So half of your grade is based on this and the other half is based on this. So it's about 50-50. In the justification, you need to explain why your choices, so what you've decided to make, are suitable for the task criteria that you explained above, so what you've identified in the issues and strategies. Just remember dot point 1 that you have down here should actually link with dot point 1 from up the top, right? And that will make sense shortly. So in terms of how to write this, going back to our pretend puzzle task that we had up here for wording, just reading this here, it says the chosen puzzle is suitable as it can be divided into 20 pieces, which is a manageable number for the age group. It also has bright, colourful sea creatures on it, which will be engaging for the child and relevant as they often learn about animals at this age. Excuse me. So it is now explaining why the choices are suitable for a particular criteria. So you need to go through the 4 criteria now and explain how your choices are suitable for them. So number 1, you need to write about why your choices are suitable to be made within the 2 weeks. Right, explain that there. Number 2, you need to explain why your choices, your items, are suitable for 2 to 4-year-olds and link with the book. Number 3, you need to write about how your items are suitable to be made from 50% recycled materials. Okay, you might want to give a brief description about what you're planning to use that's recycled, opposed to what you're planning to use that's new, which shows how it's 50-50 at least. And then when you come down to number 4, you need to write about why your items are going to be safe and durable. Okay, why are they suitable to be made that way? All right, so what strategies can you apply for your particular items? And that's it. So what you will find is that it's quite hard to stick to the word count, but please try to as best as possible. It's best not to include lots of personal language and avoid it completely if you can. So try and word things in the third person, so no I, my, I believe, I think, because it's just wasted words. Go straight to whatever you're going to say after the I think or I believe. All right. If you have any further questions, please always ask in class. Otherwise, use this as a guide for writing your action plan.